In Ireland today, we are all under pressure due to increasing financial concerns, the difficulties of maintaining a work-life balance, constant contactability through mobile phones and email, traffic congestion, unemployment, debt and stress.
Like school stress, like exams and stuff like that, or if you've got a big match coming up, or just home life sometimes can be stressful. But
recession started. I mean, it's hard for people. Like, we don't have the luxury things that we used to have, and
it's very stressful times at the moment. The recession, people are, I suppose, they're a bit lost at the moment.
I myself feel the pressure push from getting on in years, so.
school work and like peers and stuff, yeah, trying to keep in with the trend, that kind of stuff.
Obviously commuting to work is one of the things, the traffic, and if the bus is late or something, and that just adds to the stress when you have a deadline to...
It's your health, you get tired, you're stressed out, you know, you go home, you'll be working split shifts, and you just find yourself tired all the time, you know.
Bad news. Everything is all bad news. There's not anything good happening. Everything is bad news.
All of these pressures have the potential to impact negatively on our health and, of course, our mental health. We are now going to hear from some people who come from a variety of backgrounds, but who all share a passion for positive mental health. Speaking from their own experiences, they will be sharing with us their key ideas about mental health recovery and how they have benefited from adopting these ideas into both their personal and professional lives. You'll also hear about a simple and systematic approach which has helped many people to recover and maintain well-being in their lives. We hope that the information discussed here will lead you to think about the way you look after yourself and will hopefully facilitate a conversation around mental health recovery and what it means to you and the people around you.
Recovery for me is about hope and it's about expectation.
Okay, recovery means you being the expert on your own life.
Recovery basically means being at ease and comfort with yourself, whatever that might be.
What I liked was I became involved in my own recovery.
Recovery to me means hope.
Recovery means opening up the prison gates.
Recovery is a journey by yourself, into yourself.
There is a change in the way that mental health is viewed, and this change is for good.
One organisation which has been working to make recovery a reality in Ireland today is IMREC.
IMREC stands for the Irish Mental Health Recovery Education Consortium. 5 agencies came together to design and deliver a mental health recovery programme to run nationally. And our focus was on creating a dialogue around the whole area of recovery and to introduce a self-help programme called WRAP, which is short for Wellness Recovery Action Planning. As a group, we all believed that recovery is possible, but it's different for each individual. We all manage our wellness in our own way. In keeping with the National Mental Health Policy, A Vision for Change, we were acutely aware of the need to create opportunities, to bring people together, to learn about recovery, and the transformation that would be possible if we truly could adopt recovery as a core value in our Irish mental health services. There are now a large number of people who have been part of this project, and we know they're back in their communities sharing what we believe is a hope-inspiring message about recovery. That will continue on long beyond IMREC and is ultimately the most valuable legacy of this project.
I'm a dad. I've got 3 sons. I'm a son. I've got brothers and sisters. My mum is living. My dad unfortunately died last year. And I work with HSE. I work at national level, planning and delivering mental health services.
Well, I have many different roles. I guess in my family I would be a sister, a daughter. I'd also be an auntie to 5 little ones and another one on the way. I'd also, in my working life, I'm currently working as the programme coordinator for IMREC. And I'd also be passionate about my work as a mental health recovery and WRAP facilitator.
Well, I'm, in terms of family relationships, I'm an uncle, I'm a brother, I'm a friend, I'm I work in mental health. I'm a mental health worker. I have self-experience.
Firstly, a son to my mother. My father has passed away, and I'm also the youngest in the family. The role I play work-wise is the role of a drama facilitator. And my aim basically is for people to develop as human beings through drama.
I suppose first and foremost, I'm me. Then I would be a wife. My other role would then, I would be an instructor within a mental health facility or a training centre. And those are my predominant roles.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm a mental health care professional, and I work as a psychiatrist, and then I'm a wife, and I'm very lucky again that I have a very loving, trusting relationship, and I share lots of common interests.
I work and have done for some time with the Irish Mental Health Coalition, and the Coalition is a national campaigning organisation, and that keeps me busy. And outside of that, in theory, I do some running and like and enjoy dancing from time to time.
I work in the tourism industry, which is lovely. I work in a small rural holiday village in Robertstown in County Kildare. I meet people from all over the world. It's fantastic. I'm a mother. I have 3 teenagers who I can't wait to leave home.
Recovery means being able to live a progressive life. We're all in the process of recovery, all of us, but it means working on oneself to achieve the ability to live and to achieve our potential.
I think recovery means a lot of different things to different people, and it's a very individual perspective, and it's a life journey where one moves along different stages in one's life. And
I find that I was very reluctant to, and I suppose I still have a reluctance, I'd have to be honest about that. I have a reluctance to feel that I need support about things in my life, you know. I was kind of maybe brought up, but certainly my education and that was to actually, you know, not need support, to be quite self-reliant and to be strong and to get on with things. So to realise that isn't it isn't realistic, that it isn't realistic for me, and that I do need support from other people, from groups, sometimes maybe from professionals. I see that as very, very, very important in my life. Working in mental health, sometimes I would have a perception, and I think maybe other people would too, but I can only talk for myself. I would have a perception that because I'm working in this field that I don't need support, you know, that I have the answers, that I have to be seen to be strong, that I have to be seen to be, you know, not vulnerable. And that in the past, and I think that has prevented me sometimes from actually accepting and that I do need support. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes in this field of work that I'm in, it's a big hurdle.
I've been to dark places myself, and I would have described my life as living my life in a prison. My life being a prison cell. And for me, hope opens up that cell. Slowly, but eventually that cell will disappear.
I've had my own experience of mental health difficulties, and when I was going through that time, it was a very tough time, but one thing that I did kind of cling on to was hope, and the feeling that I could recover. I had previously, I suppose one thing I knew was that I had previously been a secondary school teacher and had gone through 4 years of college and gone on to work in a quite challenging environment of secondary school over in Bradford in England. So I knew that if I could do that, just because I had this new label, new diagnosis, didn't mean that, all that was taken away from me, that I could still potentially kind of reclaim and go back to my previous life. And even though it was very difficult, but it was like breaking it down into small little steps, and hanging on to that hope was very important for me. Also, I think self-advocacy is really important. It's been very important for me to learning how to speak up and have my voice and talk about, what I want and need, and making that a priority. My habit would have been to put everyone else first and above me. So it was really important when I had that breakdown. It was a real sign in the on nights that I had to start looking after myself and putting myself first.
It's this unconditional acceptance of an individual as who they really are, regardless of where they come from, regardless of their culture, their gender, their disability. So it's an acceptance of the person. It's also a transition from caring for somebody to caring about somebody. It's wellness as opposed to illness. It's liberation as opposed to segregation. It's also allowing a person the dignity to take risks and make mistakes. And I suppose finally, it's to allow a person to be who they really are, regardless.
But I think what is changing from the more traditional approach is the individuality and promoting independence and taking control and responsibility back, enabling people to have choice.
Is the positive dimension that it brings. But I think what recovery offers is a way of thinking and a way of doing that allows everybody to play a part in supporting that recovery.
So we can't mass manufacture recovery, and because the individual brings recovery into the room and will take it away with them, we need to make sure that it's a tailored service, not an off-the-peg service, that is actually uniquely designed around that person, where they're at, the pace they wish to move at, the extent of recovery they'll enjoy, and what they're ready for. Almost like climbing a large stair. People take the first few rungs and then they need to rest. Then they'll take the next few rungs and wait at the next landing till they catch their breath. We have to be patient and do that on a widespread basis. At a personal level, there are times I just need to step back. I need to take some time out. I need to make sure that I can't sustain this level. It's not safe to do that. It's not good to do that. And you'll see that relationships get a bit of friction coming in here, or a bit of noise coming in here, or the tone starts going up. I think we all need to be alert to those flags and respond to them.
The challenge is to get the message out there that that there are things that you can do to help your recovery and to look after yourself in very practical ways. It's not rocket science, and it's just very, very doable, and that it is for everyone and it is possible. So that's my personal challenge I see, to actually get that message out there, get it across, and foster that kind of hope in people, and not just in mental health, in the broader community as well. There are challenges facing people, and they need something to hang on to be able, nobody teaches us how to look after ourselves, and I think that's a very important message. So my challenge is to get that message out there. I
suppose to facilitate understanding within the professionals themselves. Sometimes it's very easy to stand on the other side of the glass frame and say, well, embrace this, take it on. It's understandable that people are afraid of new things, and to allow for that, and the gradual easing in of something. But I think if it's embraced as what it is, and it's shown, it's demonstrated that, hey, this can work. We have it here, it does work.
Questions on this. And it was almost like, if you're a mental health professional, and my background's in mental health nursing, that you're somehow immune. We're not. We have about 9,500 staff working our mental health services. And it was interesting, I used to train student nurses, and I remember after a particularly difficult day in a unit, talking to a young student who had recently joined us, and I was asking, how was he? And he says, I'm fine, I'm grand, I can handle this. And I said, but talk to me about it. And he said, no, I don't need to, I'm fine. In that very macho way that I'm unmoved and untouched by this. And he was a bit surprised, and I said, well, Dad, now I'm really concerned, because I need you to be here as a person and a professional, not the professional first. You can be professional in how you go about your business, but you cannot witness distressing scenes and hear upset and not be moved by that. if you're going to be able to do this successfully over a long period of time.
The problem with recovery really is that in many ways it is such a vast, it's a term and it describes nothing in some ways. It can be what it is and it means what it is for different people. So when you could be having a discussion about recovery, you could be actually talking, two people could be talking about two totally different things.
I spoke to a man who said he met a mental health professional who said, if I could just spend 2 weeks with you, I could fix you. And he said, don't want to be fixed, thanks very much. Not that I enjoy being broken, but if that's your opinion, you're entitled to it, but this is who I am. And there are some aspects of my life are challenging and difficult, but this contributes to who I am and my uniqueness. So we have to be careful that I don't apply my standards onto another individual and project them onto another individual, saying, you're not quite well enough for my liking. So it's for the individual, so long as it's not impinging on other people or it's not seriously damaging their health or whatever, I think we have to allow the imperfections that make things interesting. Apparently, if you have a pure note in music, it's very uninteresting. If you have pure alcohol, it's poison actually. It's the impurities that make things interesting.
RAP for me it's action. It's an action program. It's wellness recovery action program. It's about looking at wellness. All aspects of wellness. What it's like to be well. Like usually people know what it's like to be ill, but they forget what it was like to be well. And it's looking at the things we do that make us well, how we can incorporate that into our daily lives.
I suppose RAP is a self-management approach, so that you can gain control back in your life in the presence or absence of illness. It's fluid, it's adaptable, it almost adapts around the uniqueness of the person. It's all encompassing, and I suppose from a service point of view, it's cost effective and it's almost cost neutral.
Well, RAP, for me, it's not rocket science. It's a very simple, very easy to use framework to help people. You know, it's made up of 8 different steps, and it's basically you can pick and choose from it whatever you wish to use, but it's really a kind of a framework that you can use to manage your wellness, to foster awareness of what keeps you well.
So for me, you know, RAP is it's a plan for living. For me, it has aspects of mental health. It also has aspects of physical health in it because of arthritis. But I firmly believe there is not one person in this world who would not benefit from having a living action plan. Everything is in it. I have done different courses down the years, you know, how to deal with anxiety and how to deal with this and when you hit a crisis. But this is everything all together. But it's you learning about you.
Sometimes you know your wellness tools, but you actually don't use them because you find some excuse for not using them. I like to walk. It's good for my head and it's good for my body, and that I usually lose weight when I walk, and it's very important because as regards if you're holding weight or putting on weight, your self-esteem is affected. But the major reason I walk is to clear my head, because I can let thoughts flow. And let things flow, and just don't stop them, just let all the thoughts flow. And say, coming back after a half an hour walk, I feel well. Other things like eating properly, sleeping properly, getting proper sleep, socialising. I like TV. Some people think, oh, TV is the wrong thing. TV can be very relaxing altogether. Like, give me an episode of Coronation Street any day and I'll relax.
So I enjoy, you know, I enjoy the movies. I'm a fan of Billy Connolly, and I've just started doing a wee exercise program to get fit, because I think feeling fit it helps your mental well-being. I like to relax doing painting or photography, and really enjoy nature around and going for walks and really taking in all those colours in our landscape.
I get up early, I eat well, I eat probably a little bit too well at times. I spend a lot of time with my kids who keep me, I've 2 teenage sons still living at home. My eldest son is working in Dublin. And they don't let me stray too far. My wife is a huge support to me, and I have very, very good colleagues I work with. I like to walk, I like to swim, I do a bit of kayaking in the summer months, and I find that useful too. I listen to some music and I torment our dog.
Well, to do something I liked. So I've now gone back to writing, and I'm now researching a storyline, which I had in my head for about 7 years, and now say I'm writing that book.
I'd like to say that recovery is for everyone. It's not just for this person or that person. It's not just for this type or this group of people. It's for everyone. I'd also like to say that in my experience, it's fun. It makes for a happier life, and for that reason I'd say go for it.
Recovery is lifelong learning. There are no qualifications.
There is recovery. It doesn't mean that everything will be perfect all the time, because nobody's life is perfect all the time. But there is recovery.
Recovery is a powerful force for change.
We hope that the information discussed here will facilitate a conversation around mental health recovery, what it means to you and the people around you, and we also hope that it may help you reflect on how you look after yourself. We would like to dedicate this DVD to everyone who experiences distress in their lives and their supporters.